Delighted to be joined by Fiona Campbell. Thank you so much for joining us, Fiona, for this In Conversation With. Fiona, as you know, is presenting at the conference next year, and your topic is really incredibly important, I think. It's using NLP skills for enhancing public speaking and business presentations. Who wouldn't want to know a bit more about that? So, Fiona, do tell us a little bit more about yourself and your presentation.
Okay, thank you for asking me to have a wee chat today, Karen, and I'm delighted to be presenting at the conference. I've been working with NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, for about 30 years, and I work specifically for business and also coaching now. And I put together this topic because over 73% of people are terrified to speak in public. And especially now, we've got to be doing business online. There's more and more people setting up their businesses. They have to talk about their businesses. So for me, it was, I love working with presentation skills. I love working with public speaking skills because it's so easy once you know how you're doing it to get the shift. Most people think it's this great big, scary thing, I'll never be able to speak in public. But when we break it down and we show people what's happening, people just go, is that it? So that's one of the reasons, because it's holding, so that for people not to be able to speak in public, it holds back their career. It really stops people building their own business or becoming visible in whatever organization they're working in.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I remember back in the day before NLP that I would, when you did those introductions around the room at the beginning of a session, I'd miss the first half because I'd be panicking about what I was going to say, and I'd miss the second half because I'd be trying to calm myself down. So it's not great for networking and that sort of thing. So a very important skill to have. And
it's also the fact that it's all to do with what's going on in someone's inside world, what they're saying to themselves. And when someone's really busy in their inside world with their self-talk, is exactly what you've just spoken about. You're blocking out what's going on outside. So you're missing everything else that's going on there. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what will delegates take away from your session, Fiona?
They'll take away at least 4 or 5 techniques that they can apply instantly for themselves to help change the way they think about presentations, help change the way they prepare for presentations. And according to I've worked with thousands of people at this, it will help change the way they feel about presentations. Because in my experience, most people who have trouble with presenting are telling themselves they're having trouble with presenting. Everything's going on in their inside world. A lot of presentation skills training that I used to go to years ago in corporate training, they would teach you how to stand, how to talk, how to have eye contact, and they addressed everything to do with the behavior, everything that happened in the outside world, but they weren't addressing what's going on in someone's head. So that's what we're going to be covering, giving really easy, I like to keep things really simple and really easy techniques that people who attend can apply straight away. And the lovely thing is that when they get the shift on the workshop, very often that shift stays right into going out and actually presenting.
We'll have even more applications for next year's conference.
Now, I have to put a caveat there. People still have to practice.
Yes.
This is not a magic wand that you wave and all of a sudden you're a fabulous presenter. You still have to rehearse. You still have to get your material in a form that it flows. I'll be covering that. Wonderful. But what we're looking at is looking at all the other things to help what's going on in someone's mind before they present, so they can get the clarity to be able to present really well.
Wonderful. And presumably then delegates will be able to support their own clients in doing something similar.
Yeah. Well, I always provide a small handout, a small workbook with all my talks, and all the techniques will be there. Plus, as you know, the videos stay on for a while, so people can come back and they can look at the session. But I like to teach my techniques, especially to NLP professionals, in a way that they can use this first themselves. but actually give you all the little bits and pieces that can help work with someone else.
Yes, wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you. So, is there anything that delegates can do beforehand so that they get a sort of a deeper experience during your session?
Yes. I always recommend that people get their phone, put their phone on 10-minute, put a 10-minute timer, get a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. I don't like to do this typing for some reason. I think it's much more powerful when they get a piece. In fact, get a few pieces of paper and then put a timer on for 10 minutes and write down everything that's going through in your head in that 10 minutes, all your self-talk. And if you're sitting there going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, Fiona said, I've got to do self-talk. What do you mean do self-talk? What's self-talk? That's what you should be writing down. With no breaks, no putting things into paragraphs, no editing. Just get used to downloading everything that's running in your head.
Right.
And we're not going to ask to see it. You may want to rip it up. You may be amazed at how much of a tangent you go off on.
Yeah.
But that prepares people to come along and really start to think, okay, what am I saying to myself?
Yeah.
Because lots of people tend to focus on the self-talk that's correcting their unresourceful self-talk.
Right.
So people will say, oh, well, I'm telling myself I can do better. And I'll say, but what have you been telling yourself to say you can't do that? That's the response.
Yeah.
So we're really looking to get people to be tuned up into what are you actually saying to yourself. Yeah. And if someone can do that before they come along, even for the conference, they become really much more prepared.
Yes. I don't think my hand would work quick enough.
Well, that's it. It's keeping up with it, but it's always an interesting experience. And everyone that I've ever trained, I always get them to do the 10 minutes of self-talk.
That's a really good tip. Thank you. I will definitely be having a go at that a few times.
And no stopping. No, we don't need punctuation marks. No starting a new paragraph because you've actually stopped. Then it's just the actual. We want the flow that comes out.
Yeah, that sounds like a really fun exercise. Thank you. So Fiona, I mean, you've been a speaker at the conference before and you've attended the conference before and we've known each other a while. So what does the NLP International Conference mean to you?
It's a place where people can really come together, which is fantastic. And it's lovely. It's part on person and online now. But for me, it's just the support. It's the support of everything you do with ANLP, the wonderful support that you give to your trainers, you give to your members. But I think sometimes, especially when people are setting up their own business, it can be lonely. We're all out there stuck out on our own, helping lots of other people do different things. And this allows you to be part of a community. It allows you to really share knowledge also. There's a lot of knowledge sharing. And it helps people understand that if you're new to NLP or if you're just, starting to find out a little bit about neuro-linguistic programming, it becomes, it's lifelong learning.
Yeah.
Every single good trainer that I know never stops learning.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and people come in and get quite surprised. Well, you're still learning, you're still developing. Yes. So this gives a lot of people that are quite new into the field a lot of confidence. And also, I believe in really sharing knowledge. It took me 10 years to really understand the meta model. I talk about that a lot. I knew it. I knew what it was, and but I didn't understand the power of it. I didn't understand how this can shortcut so many different things. I don't want people to take 10 years to learn a lot of these techniques. So if you've got people sharing the knowledge, sharing the information, sharing ways to really accelerate learning, that's what's beautiful about the conference.
Yes, absolutely.
And also the lovely thing is now I specialise for business and coaching. Other people specialise in education. Other people specialise in medicine. Other people specialise in personal development. So it really lets people see how broad this whole topic is and how it is rapidly coming into mainstream, which is fabulous.
Yes. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's very exciting times I think we're in at the moment.
Well, I always say I'm only warming up. And what is so exciting is a lot of the stuff 30 years ago, a lot of these techniques, they were all theoretical.
Yes.
Now neuroscience is actually saying, no, that's what's happening with the brain.
Yeah.
That's what the brain's doing.
Yeah.
And for me, that is just, it gives so much of validation of what we are doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We knew it, we just didn't know how we knew it.
Well, we had to wait for the scientists to come up and say, right, there you go. We now know we can, we can scan the brain. We can see all different things that are happening, and we understand all behavior comes from a thought. All behavior comes from what you're telling yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So as I said, Fiona, for those of you watching, Fiona Campbell is presenting at the conference next year. You're presenting virtually on Saturday,
Yes.
20th of May, 11 o'clock BST, because we'll be in
Mhm.
summertime again by then.
Yeah.
So very much looking forward to that. And as I said, your topic is using NLP skills for enhancing public speaking and business presentations.
Yep.
It's a must-have for everybody, I think. So thank you very much, Fiona, for spending time with us today and giving us more of an insight into your presentation.
I'm looking forward to being there, and I'm coming along to the in-person conference as well, but I'm coming along as a delegate just to enjoy myself. Okay, thank you very much.